The Fundamental Rights chapter ends with 3 articles that are often overlooked in preparation but appear in exams regularly. Articles 33 to 35 are the Constitution's own internal regulation of the rights chapter. Article 33 gives Parliament the power to restrict or even abrogate fundamental rights in their application to members of the armed forces, forces charged with maintaining public order like police, persons employed in any bureau of intelligence or investigation, and persons employed in posts related to telecommunications systems. This makes intuitive sense. A soldier cannot have the same freedom of speech as a civilian journalist. A police officer on duty cannot claim the same right to assemble that a citizen exercising their democratic rights can. Military and police discipline requires different standards. Article 33 is the constitutional authorization for this differential treatment. The Army Act, Navy Act, and Air Force Act all restrict the fundamental rights of their respective service members. These restrictions draw their constitutional validity from Article 33. The Armed Forces Special Powers Act has been constitutionally defended partly on the basis of Article 33. The Supreme Court in the Extrajudicial Execution Victim Families Association case of 2016 held that even in areas governed by the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, armed forces cannot kill people as a matter of routine. Every death must be justified. Article 33 permits restrictions on FRs of armed forces personnel, but does not authorize extrajudicial killing. Article 34 allows Parliament to indemnify any person in the service of the Union or a state, or any other person, in respect of acts done by them in connection with the maintenance or restoration of order in any area where martial law was in force. Parliament can, by law, declare that no legal proceedings shall lie against such persons. Martial law is not defined in the Constitution. It is distinct from emergency under Articles 352, 356, and 360. Martial law essentially means military governance of a territory in a crisis. Article 34 provides retrospective parliamentary immunity for actions taken during such a period. Article 35 is important for ensuring national uniformity in the application of fundamental rights. It says that only Parliament, not state legislatures, can make laws to give effect to certain specific provisions. These provisions include the residence requirement under Article 16, Clause 3, the power to empower courts other than the Supreme Court to issue writs under Article 32, Clause 3, punishment for untouchability offenses under Article 17, and punishment for forced labor offenses under Article 23. The reason Parliament alone has this power is to ensure that these rights operate uniformly across the entire country. If states could make their own laws on these matters, you could have wildly different standards in different states. Article 35 prevents that. For your exams, remember Article 33 on armed forces restrictions, Article 34 on martial law indemnity, which is rarely invoked, and Article 35 on parliamentary exclusivity for certain FR-related legislation. Now your MCQ. Article 33 of the Constitution gives Parliament the power to restrict fundamental rights in their application to which of the following? Option 1. Citizens only when they are residing abroad. Option 2. Members of the armed forces, police forces, intelligence agencies, and persons employed in telecommunications systems related to government. Option 3. Only members of the Army and not the Navy or Air Force. Option 4. Civilians living in areas under presidential rule. Think carefully. The correct answer is Option 2. Article 33 allows Parliament to restrict fundamental rights for members of the armed forces, the forces charged with maintaining public order, persons employed in intelligence and investigation bureaus, and persons employed in telecommunications posts connected to government functions. This is the constitutional basis for differential treatment of security personnel's fundamental freedoms. Option 3 incorrectly limits this to only the Army. Options 1 and 4 describe scenarios not covered by Article 33.